Good morning. The sun is rising in New York City. I am waiting for a plane at JFK Airport to take me back home for the first time in 10 years to find out why Jamaicans love to run so much. And you are coming with me. I am Jamaican. So I know the only way to be Jamaican is to talk like a Jamaican. So before we go, I must turn Jamaican. Back to that little picnic who would run barefoot in the streets with his friend them. For the speed and the freedom and the thrill of Jamaican sport and culture.
Welcome to Jamaica.
You are floating and weightless. You fly over the Caribbean Sea, queen of the beach and fish. You reach rich gold and green leaf plant that rise up to meet swaying palm trees. That Rasta man them climb up and pick fresh coconut. You land softly on a warm brown earth and drink the sweet juice of a red flower. It make you move so fast that the jungle becomes a blur. And your feet turn wheel and your body turn bus. And you find yourself moving down the concrete path of the holy blue mountains. The mountains that surrounded my childhood. The path that led me to the beach. This is a place that runs off the power of the jungle. Everywhere you go in Jamaica is jungle. A jungle of history and loss. And from this jungle comes a jungle of people. And as we move through the concrete jungle towards the training ground of Jamaica National Track and Field coach Paul Francis, you will start to see the power of the Jamaican jungle in the character of the Jamaican runner.
Practice sessions are exactly that, practice sessions. Like everything else which happens in life, we need to practice it in order to be perfect at it. So a general track and field practice session is usually going to try to get the athletes to do things that you'd like them to do for competition. So the amount of repetitions is called loading, where you try to get them to a required fitness level while maintaining a pretty high intensity of effort. You want them to do it perfectly over and over and over again because some things are unnatural to the body. You are more concerned about the fitness of the athletes and the ability to repeat as will be required in competitive arena. The loading is for that purpose, for being able to repeat optimum performances consistently. Using the direct analogy, Germany is considered a first world country where their cultures have been developed over centuries and they believe they have a right to individualism. Jamaica, on the other hand, has been a colony of nations like Germany for a 400 plus year period. In my mind, we're still under colonial influence because our very education systems replicate or show that we still very much are culturally being taught the beliefs of those who colonized us. So there is going to be a definite difference. Jamaicans we're taught to believe that everything that you do, success or otherwise, is based on a gift of God. So, because of culture and how you're taught to believe, you might even think you're out of order if you were ever to be successful at something and not mention first that God is the one who caused it. The difference is in culture.
Here, over Yaso, culture is God. The street is culture. People, music, food is culture. Children are culture. And a national program like that of Paul Francis starts within the earliest stages of the culture and sports programs of the Jamaican education system. And it is here the story really begins.
Hello, I am Mark Brown, music teacher at the United Learning Center Prep School. Some of the kids that we have are very talented.
We have to unite, we have to resist. Life in a Babylon system makes me sick. Eat off like a brick and it joke like a maca stick. Maca stick. Remember the days of masters and slaves when they work them no pay them no wage.
Hi, I'm Azaria Lawrence. I'm 10 years old. Hello, I'm Michaela McCoy. I'm 10 years old. I'm Raina Akins. My name is Zuri Francis, and I like running, playing music, and dancing.
When them dead, poor people grieve. I read the history book and shed tears on the page. They plan to revolt, Clark was betrayed. Some get licked in their past feces. He put a different impact, this to this. Life in a Babylon system makes me sick. Sick.
I think the most important thing for me it is the fact that they get to communicate and engage with each other. Especially in Jamaica, I see where a lot of kids are mostly involved, whether in music or track and field, and sometimes they carry them hand in hand throughout school. And I think that is why somebody like Usain Bolt is so successful. The arts and sport is another way that somebody could earn a living or something like that.
Well, worldwide we know Jamaican culture is a very infectious culture. It encompasses, way of life. Music is very much impacting in the culture, and then sports. Any international athletics championship would have Jamaicans, coming out on top. And so, although we're a small school, it's difficult not to allow the culture to influence everything that you do. Schools in the countryside, or kids who go to public school, many of them walk to school. So they would have started to build their leg muscles from early. Now that synthetic tracks would have been there, then they would have seen the need for spike shoes and so on. But remember, now many kids are exposed to that kind of situation. They run on a grass track. If you see Usain Bolt, as soon as he's finished, he can't wear the shoe anymore. He takes it off. The African culture would have had a lot to do with the bare natural things and to connect with the ground, foot bottom on the ground. You feel more connected to what you're doing. Perhaps they see a footwear as hindrance. Perhaps whether they've tested it or not, they feel more comfortable running barefooted on the grass rather than having a shoe to hold it up.
Yeah, man, Limbo Joe, you know. Limbo Joe, you know, dancing for life, you know. Long time we there dancing now, we have to expose the talent to the world. I took off, you know. Yeah, man, so anybody out there who watch this video, man, just make them know, man. We're not going to see the real dancing future. I'm from St. Catherine, a local place called Rivali, you know. I dance for over 25 years now. Right now, I'm 38 right now. I used to in a track and field, you know. I run like second. Sometimes I come first. I run high pitch. I feel more comfortable when I sprint off on my toe. You give me a faster move and I'm more relaxed. I'm in a track and field at school, you know. I used to go Independence City all age. My mother and my father died, so I have to start work before time. Anyway, I did really want to push. So I take up this dancing career now where I go 14 parish in Jamaica and do my thing, you know. I have to do it to survive too, so you know I have to try to do my best at all time. My best at all time.
Going down to Kingston, Kingston. We're going down to Kingston town. Long after the sun already go down. Now the night can take you underground to find the golden sound or the golden sleep. Because you can't find no structure nowhere around. All the structure gone to eat in peace. Except for the light of National Stadium, where MVP training will compete.
At this time of the year, we have meets called All Comers, created to allow our athletes, junior and senior, to compete in preparation for national championships. So we competed at the National Stadium. There are times you need to speak a lot. There are times you speak little or none at all. It all depends on how well the persons are executing. So in other words, you don't want athletes to run a great time in one round, advance to the next round, and come in the other round and not be able to perform. We have a lot of athletes, so the idea is to try to pinpoint as best as possible flaws that our athletes make so their performances can be improved at a future date. You train and then you have to compete. You have to try and compete as well as you train, and try to execute technically the things that you're being taught. Also, one of the things that we have to be careful of as persons who coach are persons who genuinely believe in their heart that they're way better than what they are. This can affect even your approach to training. This can affect your approach to life. When a 28-year-old has been training for 10 years, has not attained or achieved anything in this sport, and and still believe that it's coming. Sometimes you have to say, hey, go look a job. You know, you are holding up your life for no reason whatsoever. But go be a man or go be a woman, you know. But these are things, some of the things that naturally going to have to part of the territory that you do with on a day-to-day basis.
My name is Jenny Russell. I'm a 400 meter hurdler. I started running at the age of 5. I didn't try on spikes until I reached high school. The first time was very awkward, but I liked the feeling. You don't look at it and say, oh, I'm going to buy my daughter spikes to run because they can do it barefoot because they send me to the shop. I'm going barefoot to the shop and I run and come back. My background is average. My mother had a job. I do not know my father. I had a stepfather. He had a job. I had struggles with lunch money, but that didn't stop me from training because I had coaches in high school that will help me out with lunch money. When you have icons like Shelley and Fraser Price, Usain Bolt, these stuff motivate you because they're saying that we're all human beings. And if I can do it with twice the work, I may not have the natural talent, just saying, but I feel that if I put in the work in whatever I do, I can be in the mix at the top. I want to be the best like Dion Hemmings. I just want to be there to be remembered and say, you know what, this young lady was from Manchester, she did this and that for Jamaica. And young girls can look up to me, young boys can look up to me, and I just want to be the best there is. The best there is. The best there is.
Rain, go away. Come again another day. Cause the picnic them have 2 track meets Saturday, you know. For 2 separate leagues of Jamaican schooling. For the preparatory and the primary. For the not so poor and the more poor. And for the spirit of the runner. Held in the fantasies of every Jamaican. From since they could walk or run.
So track and field is more like a lifestyle. We have children, when they are playing, it starts there. So athletics come naturally to most of these children. But we have some very fantastic coaches to develop the talent and bring it to the other level. So today we are here at a development meet for the Grand Prep Championship coming up the end of this month. It is very important, especially for like the athletes I am associated with coming in from the country where there is no synthetic track. So for some of them, it's the first they are running on this surface. So at least they will get a little experience going into the prep championship. Daniel had a little mishap at the start this morning, but what pleases me, he did not give up. There are certain things that I wanted to achieve as a child. You know, we grew up in a very poor home. So now that I find myself fortunate in a position where I can provide some of the things that I did not enjoy as a kid, I see Daniel living out some of those experiences that I had dreamt about, you know.
So you see, running has no real system or class. It has an inherent level playing field. You just get up on your 2 feet and do it the best. There is no poverty here. And as the crowd roars like a lion with pride for its people, you can see there's not much difference even where difference is made. Even when people say you're poor. The presence of the Holy Spirit guides us back up into the mountains blue, so he may hear us scream his name. For we now live in a world where his name is law. More than sin, more than the will of people. All movement stops today but in his name. No more running, no more shame. So he may hear us scream his name. At Narrowway Blue Mountains Church.
Worship you, Jesus. We oh Lord, you are worthy. You are worthy to be praised. Come on with your hands lifted. We give you all the glory. From all generations, you are worthy. Worship God in the house. Worship God in the house. Hallelujah.
Big boy, greatest in the world.
One of the worst feelings must be to race somebody, beat them, and then realize afterwards that the person had an off day.
You're looking into that. That's true.
Shamira, my dear. Shamira. No, Nikita, you don't see half a walk back over there. Vicky.
Straight to Kenny, you know, Jelly. I roll.
Come here. Do you agree with me?
Do you understand what the man is saying?
No.
Yes, we understand.
No, but you just want if you agree.
Yeah.
If you run 11.70 and she run 12.04, she have zero business in front of you going over the barriers. None. Right? So how do you get inflamed ligaments in your chest?
They say it's idiopathic, so
What is that?
can be a random set of anything.
Random set of anything.
So like it can be allergies, can be caused by marijuana.
Have you been smoking marijuana?
Like secondhand smoke.
Would you be telling me that you did if you did?
Of course. Why am I smoke?
Why? Because you're a Westman. Westman men do these things. No. You have spent enough time in the West to be called a Westman.
I'm not smoke, I'm not drink.
I heard that there are about 5 or 6 an hour about weed around the place. So. I had an accident which ended up, getting me injured, leg broken in a few places. Spent approximately 8 weeks in hospital. Apparently I got infected in the hospital and I needed to have an amputation. So it maybe reiterated things which I was saying all along in terms of the mind actually being the one which controls your very action, your very aura, your very energy. I have been fortunate enough to understand or to observe that every human being has different characteristics, different drives. We are all forced to live with another 7 billion persons, none of whom are exactly like us. So it's just a matter of one, being aware of others, so we all can cohabitate.
This is my father. Every Saturday morning he plays cricket on this same field with his friend them. He believes Jamaica is a country that runs on faith. Faith in a higher power. Not just God but nature. The nature of the earth and the purity of the human figure. That once it is dedicated and full of love, will grow to reach ultimate heights. And it is this philosophy that makes their runners and their people so unique. Well, I have to catch my plane now. Until next time, respect.